Hi friends, Ali here. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to crochet this tree wall hanging. This pattern is part of a crochet advent calendar project I'm doing. This is the first video of the series, and over the next few days, I'll be sharing the rest of the advent calendar tutorials with you, like 25 Christmas and winter themed appliques to hang on this tree wall hanging, as well as a little pouch to hold all of the appliques when they're not hung up. So if you want to follow along with the Advent Calendar series, I will be putting all of those videos and tutorials in a playlist here on my channel, so you can easily find all of the patterns there. Or if you'd like to buy the PDF bundle, which includes the written instructions for all 27 of the Advent Calendar patterns, you can find that in my Etsy shop and on Ravelry. I'll link to all those places in the description box down below. You can also just make this wall hanging all by itself and leave it as is, maybe add some fringe to the bottom if you'd like. You can use this as a simple tree wall hanging decor piece in your home. I think it would look great if you had a wilderness themed nursery or a cabin, or just hanging up at Christmas time or really any time of year. For this tutorial, I will not be going through it line by line for the whole pattern because that would be a very long video, but I'm going to show you how to read the chart, how to get started, how to change colors, and how to attach it to a dowel. So to follow along with the full written pattern and graph, you can find those on my website, theturtletrunk.com, and then you can just use this video for reference. I'll link to the free pattern down below. Now, if you're ready to get started, let's head over to our supply list and let's get making. For this pattern, you'll need medium 4-weight yarn in 2 contrasting colors. Color A is our background color. I'll be using white. You'll need about 222 yards of that. And then color B is our tree. I'll be using green. And you'll need about 168 yards for that. You'll also need a 5mm or H hook, scissors, a yarn needle, 24-inch wooden dowel to hang it on, and then if you're doing the advent calendar, you'll need 25 16mm buttons. I used a mix of red and green buttons, but feel free to do whatever colors you'd like. The finished size of the wall hanging is about 20 inches wide and 24 inches long. If you want to check your gauge before getting started, you can find the gauge pattern here on the screen. So you can follow along with the pattern, either following along with the written instructions or this graph. Ignore the fact that my tree is blue. My printer ran out of ink, so it turned out blue, but I wasn't about to waste another sheet of paper, so ignore that mine is blue. But here is the graph that you can follow along with. Each square on the graph represents 1 single crochet stitch. So you follow it from right to left when you're working on the right side of your project, and then from left to right when you're on the wrong side of your project. So you just go row by row, line by line, all the way up, changing colors between the white and the green when the squares say so. So you can print off this graph from my website, theturtletrunk.com, or if you get the pattern bundle from my Etsy shop or Ravelry, you can print it off from there and follow it that way, or you can just follow along with the written instructions. We're going to start with our color A yarn. So this is your background color. I'll be using white. We're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and then I'm going to start by making a foundation single crochet row. If you'd like to just work a regular foundation chain and then single crochet into it, you can. If you're going to do that, you'll want to chain 59, single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across. But I'm going to be working a foundation single crochet row, which is basically working your foundation chain and your first row of single crochets together at once. I think it's a little bit quicker and then also gives you a nicer edge on the bottom. So to work a foundation single crochet, we're going to chain 2, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop on your hook. That's going to create our first foundation chain. You need to remember where that is because we'll be working the next stitch into it. So you can use a stitch marker if you need. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook to finish our single crochet. So we just worked our foundation chain and our single crochet together. So now working back into that last foundation chain, we're going to insert our hook, making sure we're going through the 2 bottom loops there. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop on your hook to create our next foundation chain. Again, you can use a stitch marker to mark that spot if you need. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through both loops on our hook to finish our single crochet. So we just created 2 foundation single crochet stitches. So now working into our last foundation chain, insert your hook into those 2 loops, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop on your hook to create our next foundation chain, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook to finish our single crochet. So there we have 3 foundation single crochet stitches, and we're going to work a total of 58 for row 1. So I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to catch back up with you when we reach the end of row 1, where you should have a total of 58 foundation single crochet stitches. So I've reached the end of row 1. I have a total of 58 foundation single crochet stitches. So this is what we're looking like so far. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. The chain 1 at the beginning of each row does not count as a stitch. And now we're on to row 2, and for rows 2 to 4, we're just going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch across, just using our white yarn or your color A yarn. When you reach the end of the row, chain 1 and turn, and we're just going to repeat that until the end of row 4. So just working 1 single crochet into each stitch across, chain 1 and turn, and we're just going to continue that until we reach the end of row 4. So I just finished row 4, so this is what it's looking like so far. Chain 1 and turn, and now we're on to row 5, and this is where we're going to be adding in our color B yarn. So this row we're going to be adding in the tree. So if you're following along with the graph, we're going to be working from the right side to the left, starting on row 5. So we're going to be working 4 stitches with our color A yarn, then 50 stitches with color B, and then another 4 with A. So we're going to continue on with our color A yarn first. So we're going to work 4 single crochet stitches with our color A, and on that 4th single crochet, that's when we're going to change colors. So we're going to change colors on the last stitch before the color change. So I'm going to work 4 single crochets with my white yarn, my color A yarn. On that 4th single crochet, we're going to be changing colors. So we're going to start our single crochet as normal. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. Before doing that final pull through though, we're going to drop our color A yarn, pick up our color B yarn, and do that final pull through with our color B yarn. I'm going to leave all the tail ends on the back side on the wrong side so that we don't see them. So when you're working an odd numbered row, that's going to be your front side or your right side. So you want your ends to be on the other side. When you're working an even numbered row, then you're working on the wrong side and your ends should be on the side closest to you. So now we're going to work 50 single crochets with our color B yarn. I'm going to leave that color A bobbin that we just left behind. We're going to leave that attached, and then we're going to attach a new one when we come to the left side of our project. So we'll get there when we get there. But for now, we're just going to work 50 single crochet stitches with our color B yarn. So I only have 1 more stitch left to work with my green yarn, my color B yarn. So I'm going to start it as normal, but before doing that final pull through, I'm going to drop my color B yarn and grab my color A. So we're going to be using a new bobbin of yarn for this side so that we're not pulling that one from the beginning all the way across. So all I'm doing is just pulling from the other side of the same skein. If you want, you can split your skein in 2 or just work from 2 separate skeins, however you want to do it. But I'm just working from the other side of it. So I have 4 stitches left, so I'm going to do my last 4 single crochets with my color A yarn. And at the end of row 5, we should still have 58 stitches across. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're on row 6, so now we're working on the wrong side of our wall hanging. We're going to be reading the chart from left to right now. And now that all of our bobbins or yarn is attached, we're just going to be picking up and dropping as we need. So for row 6, we're going to be working 5 single crochets across with our color A yarn. On that 5th single crochet, we are going to drop our color A yarn on that final pull through, making sure we're pulling our ends closest to us down now that we're working on the wrong side. Pick up your color B, pull through with the color B yarn, and now we're ready to start the next stitch with our color B yarn. So now we're going to work 48 single crochets with our color B yarn. And I'm just going to continue across with my color B, and I'll catch back up with you when we reach our next color change. So I'm on my last stitch using my color B yarn. So I'm going to start that last single crochet as normal and stopping before doing that final pull through. I'm going to drop my color B yarn, bringing it to my side, and then picking up my color A yarn and doing that final pull through with the color A yarn. And then working the last 5 single crochets with our color A yarn, making sure not to miss that next stitch as the yarn might be hiding it that we dragged up. So just make sure that you don't miss any of those stitches there. So working the last 5 single crochets with our color A yarn. At the end of row 6, we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we are on to row 7, and I'm going to let you do rows 7 all the way through 81, the last row on your own. So again, you can follow along with the free written pattern or the chart. Those are both available for free on my website, theturtletrunk.com. So you could just continue doing that, and then we're going to catch back up later, and I'll show you how to attach it to the dowel. So now we're on row 7, so we're working from right to left, and just like we've been doing, we're just going to pick up and drop your bobbins as needed, and you won't have to cut them at all. The only part you're going to have to stretch them a little bit further is when you reach it up here where the spikes come off the edge of the trees. You have to drag your yarn over a little bit, so you just want to ensure that you're not pulling that yarn too tight across, or that's going to kind of cinch up the back of your wall hanging. So just make sure if you're dragging the yarn more than a few stitches over, just make sure that you're keeping it loose so it's not going to tighten up your wall hanging too much. And then once you reach the top of the tree, once you work that last stitch with your color B yarn, you can cut it off. And then also at that point, you can cut off one of the color A yarn so that you only have one color A yarn attached for the last handful of rows. So I'm just going to continue on, and I'm going to catch up with you when I reach the end of row 81, and then I will show you how to attach your wall hanging to the dowel. So I finished working row 81. So this is what my wall hanging is looking like so far. Sorry, I can't fit it all under my camera, but you get the idea. So now I'm going to be attaching the dowel. So I'm going to be flipping it over so that I am working on the wrong side and that I can work my yarn from right to left. So I'm going to grab my dowel. So this is a 24-inch long dowel. I actually had to cut it that way. When I bought it, it was 48 inches, and then I just cut it in half. If you can't find 24-inch dowel, that's fine. Buy a longer one and then cut it to whatever length that you want. I wanted a couple extra inches on either side. So I cut mine at 24 inches, but feel free if you want it to be longer or shorter, cut it however you'd like. So to attach it to our wall hanging, I'm going to flip this around. So chain 1 and turn. And then I'm going to be crocheting the dowel to the wall hanging. If you wanted, you could also just cut off a long strand of yarn and loop it around and sew it through. But I like the way this looks, and I find it just easier since our yarn is already attached like so. So we're just going to be working single crochets, working around the dowel. So I've inserted my hook into the first stitch, and then I'm going to put my dowel on top of my hook like so, and then work the rest of my single crochet around it. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook, working around the dowel. And we're just going to repeat that all the way across, working one single crochet into each stitch across. One thing to keep in mind is you want to work these stitches pretty loose, so you can kind of see me shimmying up my hook so that the yarn is a little bit looser, so then it's not being cinched, the wall hanging is not being cinched up to the dowel. You just want it to be a little bit looser so that this is going to hang nicely and it's not pulling up too much. Here I've made it all the way across. I've worked one single crochet into each stitch across, and now I'm at the end. So I'm going to tie off my yarn now, just leaving a long enough tail that I can weave it in on the back side of my wall hanging. So I'm just going to cut off my yarn, and then I can weave in all of my ends on the wrong side. And then for hanging up the wall hanging, I had originally added a long strand of yarn that I tied off on either side of the dowel, and then I hung it from that. But then I noticed that the weight of the wall hanging and the width of it was pushing the pushing the ends of the wall hanging in. I'll place a photo here so that you can see. So if you look at the edges where the dowel is, it's kind of cinching in the ends of the wall hanging. So then I ended up just not using that strand and hanging it from the center stitch from where we worked around our dowel. So I just had the screw in the wall and just placed the center stitch over it like that, and that seemed to work much better. So you can try and add a long hanging loop on the ends if you want, or you can add a different type of hanging loop in the center. I suggest going from the center though, as then it's not going to cinch in the ends of your wall hanging. But once you have that figured out, you can weave in all the other ends on the back side of your wall hanging, and then you can add your buttons. So I'm going to place some photos up here on the screen so you can see where I placed my buttons, and I'll let you know how I did so. So here are some photos of where I added my buttons and how I added them. So I used matching green yarn, my Color Bee yarn from the tree. That's what I used to sew on my buttons. These buttons were only 2-hole buttons, so I just looped a 4-inch strand of green yarn through them and tied it off on the back. You can see where I placed them, so if you want to copy that, you can do that too. Or you can place your buttons wherever you want. A great thing that I did was I laid out all of my appliques first before adding on the buttons, so I knew where to place the buttons, and then you can use stitch markers to mark where you're going to place all the buttons so that when you are sewing them on, they're not moving all over the place, so you know exactly where to sew on the next button. So I hope that helps, and I really hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Be on the lookout for the next videos of this Advent Calendar series. The next tutorial will be for the little pouch, which you can use to hold all the appliques for this project, or you can use it as a little gift bag for the holidays. I'll be posting the rest of the tutorials over the next few days, and you can find all of them in the Advent Calendar playlist here on my YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.